really need to satisfy your lecturer, because there's only so far you can go if you're not satisfying your lecturer. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Kunda, the voice, the face behind YourFavMD. So in this video I'm going to be sharing textbooks and resources and a few tips that helped me through my preclinical years and will be helpful to you as you start your journey, or as you're in the middle of it, as you're concluding and you're just wondering what you should use at the stage that you are. So a little summary for people who may just be starting medical school. So medical school is divided into two sections, at least where I am and many parts of the world. And the first section is preclinical and the second section is clinical. So preclinical is when you're 100% in class and really just your lectures, while clinical is when you finally go into the field, into the hospital, and start to meet patients and do all those clinical courses. So in preclinical, there's quite a number of courses. Different universities may have some or others not. So I have gathered a list of the ones that I think are widespread amongst universities, and of course those minor courses that I have personally done but are not like widespread, I have not included them here. So make sure you are taking notes, and let's get right into the video. So the first course I have here, I'm going to put somewhere on the screen the cover of the textbooks so that it's easier for you to find the right one and not some substandard version of it. So the first course I have here is histology. And histology, the recommended book and the book that was helpful to me personally is Jankara's Histology. It's good because, first of all, it's well explained. I don't think it's complicated, and the pictures, which is really what you need in your histology, the pictures are detailed, explanatory, and yeah. Next course I have is biochemistry. So biochemistry, I have two textbooks here. The first being, because I think it's sort of simplified, it's straight to the point, but another textbook that you could use is Harper's Illustrated Biochemistry. So it's up to you to try both of them and explore which one works best for you.
Another good book is Lippincott's. I personally didn't have to use textbooks because my lecturer's notes were sufficient.
The next course is anatomy, the big one. Everyone knows about anatomy. So anatomy, there's of course Gray's Anatomy. Yeah, so there's Gray's Anatomy, as well as Netter's. Netter's is another very popular, widely used textbook. Personally, for anatomy, another thing that was really helpful is YouTube videos. Also, depending on the type of university you are, whether you have access to cadavers and things like that, YouTube videos are very helpful because you get to see. You need to know where the things actually are, and YouTube videos help you visualize those things. Next course is physiology. Physiology is a big one too. Like, you need to know your physiology. One popular textbook in physiology is Guyton and Ho, as well as Ganon. I don't recall which one was the best for me. I felt like they were both a bit complicated. Maybe it's just the course itself, but I would go back and forth between Guyton and Ho and Ganon. Next one is pathology. Pathology. Robbins is your best friend. I know Robbins is like Robbins, it's the book, but it's your best friend. Really, they explain things, you will know what you need to know, and it is accepted worldwide. So make sure you have your Robbins for your pathology. So microbiology, I think some universities do, some don't. Yeah, I think in some universities microbiology is fused into other courses, but a book that was useful is Sherry's Microbiology. Then there's another textbook that I used in Ukraine. I have to look for it, and I'm going to insert it on the screen as well. And then pharmacology. Listen, you know what? All these courses are big courses. Like, take your preclinicals very seriously because it's the foundation. Why are you going to be building a rubbish foundation and expect the building to stand? So yeah, for pharmacology, Lippincott and Katzang. Lippincott, Katzang. I feel like Lippincott is a good book because they try to make things as understandable as possible. But Katzang is also a really great book. Then radiology. Radiology, I really liked the book Learning Radiology by William Herring. I think it was straight to the point and yeah, easy to understand. There's lots and lots of images, so you get to see what different imaging modalities need to look like. Yeah. So those are the main courses that I have highlighted for preclinical. If there's any course that you're doing and you need help finding the right book for you, please feel free to leave it in the comment section and I could help in case I had done the course. So the next sources is of course YouTube channels are a very big one for me. If you're a visual learner, someone who needs to hear someone say something, YouTube is a good resource for you. And I have 4 good channels that have personally helped me. The big one, which you should have heard of by now if you're already in medical school, is Ninja Nerd. Of course, Ninja Nerd covers, I think, every course that is in medical school, so it's your one-stop shop. Like Ninja Nerd, yes, the videos may be long, but it's super helpful, especially if you start at the beginning of the semester and you have the luxury of time to learn things in detail. Next channel I have is Medicosis Perfectionalis. The videos are short. I think there's a little bit of humor in there. It's more of, if you want a summary before you start to study something, you want to have an idea of what is ahead of you, Medicosis Perfectionalis is for you. Another channel that's really good and popular is Armando. I cannot pronounce the last name, but Armando is a good one. It's literally up there with Ninja Nerd. And the next one, Speed Pharmacology. As the name says, obviously it focuses on pharmacology. Also, it is summarized and just gives you an idea of what to expect. Or maybe before a test you had already studied something and you just want to remember some of the key things. Speed Pharmacology is really helpful in pharmacology. And finally, the last YouTube channel I have here is Med Simplified, and as the name says, it's simplified. I think it was most helpful for me in biochemistry, but yeah. So in all this, when it comes to especially YouTube channels, as much as these are my top YouTube channels, I don't just stick to them. So I go to YouTube and search for a topic I want, look at the video from the views it has, from the comments, and know whether a video is good and it's going to be helpful for you. So you don't have to just stick to these channels. Yes, subscribe to them, you will see them often, but sometimes even the little channels do have the information you need, because medicine is medicine at the end of the day. So a few tips that I have in addition to these textbooks and YouTube channels is that use your lecturers' PowerPoints. Also understand your lecturer, understand what books they like, because at the end of the day, satisfying your lecturer is just as important as you knowing the information to help your patient in the future. But at this point, you really need to satisfy your lecturer, because there's only so far you can go if you're not satisfying your lecturer. So knowing what your lecturer prepares. Some lecturers have detailed PowerPoints, and reading their PowerPoints is enough to scale through, while others, their PowerPoints are sort of just like points to help them talk, which means you have to 100% be in their classes to know what they want, because their PowerPoints are almost useless if you're not present in class. So knowing those little things will really help you. And of course, attending your lectures. I do advise attending all lectures, but it's also important to weigh what you should attend and should not, because if a lecturer is just reading, you might as well read yourself. But personally, I attend all lectures, because even if the lecturer is just reading, for me, I count that as a pre-study. I like to hear someone say something. So for me, lectures are very important, because before I study something, I like to hear someone talk about it, and then it's easier for me to study the information myself. So that's everything that I have for you guys for the preclinical section of your medical school, and I'm wishing you all the best. If you have any more questions, please feel free to DM me on Instagram or leave a comment down in the section below. And yeah, let's become good doctors. See you in my next video.